You're listening to Inside the Techosystem, a podcast bringing you fun and insightful topics about tech and its ecosystem in Nigeria. You're listening to Emmanuel, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chuka.
Hey. Hi, guys. You listen to us, and we're listening to you. We're listening to each other.
Yes. So, it's obvious, for the last 6 months, we've not published an episode.
6 months.
I think it's more than 6 months now.
Jesus Christ.
The last episode was July, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like 7 months or 8 months.
Wow.
So we've been away for a long time. You can tell by the way we are acting, we don't sound like we're fit.
We are so rusty right now. I actually forgot how to record.
Nice.
I'm serious.
You're lying.
I'm serious now.
You're proud.
How does this thing work?
You're proud.
What do you say after this?
Stop being proud. It's okay.
Should I try and run the intro? Let me see if I still got it. Hi guys, you are listening to...
Oh my god.
I've actually forgotten. I forgot what to say after this.
But I just said it now. Anyways, so the last 6 months. So obviously we're going to talk about some big events and the reasons why we've been away for a while. So I think we'll start with the good side of things, so everything doesn't sound gloomy. So first of all, so let's see. In July, I guess nothing happened from July till November. Then Christmas. So my Christmas.
Nothing happened from July to...
Well, that's the gloomy part. We'll talk about that after.
That's true.
So July to November, then December. Christmas, I went back home. Everywhere soft actually. We went back home. At least me, I went back home. I traveled back to Lorraine, met my siblings and my parents and my grandma. It was nice. We had a lot of fun. I also met a couple of friends too in Lorraine, and I think it was nice. It was really nice.
You say met like you're meeting them for the first time.
Well, I met one for the first time. Shout out to Dami. So after that is January, the month of resolutions, New Year stuff.
Who still does that in 2022?
Honestly, I actually did not write anything down.
I
think this is the first year I didn't have a resolution.
Same.
I think I also didn't have last year.
No,
but last year at least I had a list. This year, as in, I just entered it like, I'm waiting this up. I just entered it. I think it was until February before I wrote down anything.
Wow.
Because, bro.
That's actually someone like you.
I know, right? I think things really went well in the end of last year. That I didn't feel bad enough to write resolutions. So, that's New Year. Then February, the month of love, So Valentine for me was nice.
Oh my goodness.
Just hear me out. Valentine was nice. So there's this thing that Cowrywise did where they invited people who were doing the dual savings, where you and your partner save money together. So me and my babe were doing that, and they invited us. So it was like a bunch of couples. It was nice, flowers, biscuits, food, games. It was nice. So they basically just did Valentine's for us, because the next day was Monday and people went to work on Monday. So it was nice. That was Valentine. And then this is March, so I've told you the nice part of the last 6 months or last 7 months. Chuka, what about you?
You see, in life there are two things involved.
I thought.
I actually last 6 months, January to December. Okay, sorry. July to December. I apologize to everybody that expected me to say something, but my life has not been very eventful for a while. So I'm not pushing or forcing it. Emmanuel is having nice Valentine's Day. Can't relate, right? Besides, I am anti-Valentine's. Valentine's is a social construct to keep us blinded in the society. I say fight through your shackles. Anyways, nothing much happened. We've been away for a while. I missed the podcast. I actually missed recording. Okay. Did I talk about... Oh, that's later.
Yeah.
On.
I guess I will now go for the gloomy side. I think we can both jump on it at the same time.
Yeah,
So
well, I want to talk about, well, some, I think I did some nice stuff
yeah,
from December,
yeah,
from July to December, but like
talk
it's
about it.
mostly work, right? It's not, I mean, I wasn't going back home to see friends and family and all of that. So I don't want to bore you guys with work actually. So mostly work, mostly career related stuff, right? So yeah, that's basically it. Sorry for being the boring one today. Usually that's Emmanuel, but look at him now. We're so
Cool,
proud.
cool. Anyway, so the gloomy side is, so from July to November, we had, I don't want to say life changing experiences, but like things that were, for instance, I was trying to switch jobs. So the whole period was like full of job applications and interviews. I know how interviews go in tech. I spent like 4 months looking for a new role, and the whole interview process was taking a toll on me. Like I would spend 2 weeks preparing for an interview. You get to the interview, blow it, and then the next day I still have another interview. So like it was just a period of ups and downs in a way, and I don't think we were in the right state to record episodes. And
Nah.
I mean, it's a nice excuse, but I mean, it sounds good enough as an excuse. So so we apologize for not keeping in touch, for not communicating, for not talking to you guys about how what we're dealing with.
It
I
was a
mean,
lot.
not like we're in the best state right now, but we're in a better place to be able to record this. So expect more episodes from us from now. Uh, with that just increased expectations. Obviously, we're going to keep recording as long as we've recorded this one.
As
So,
long as there's light in Lagos.
nice. So yes, thank you for holding on. If you're still listening, that means you really love us, and thank you for listening to us. Apologize. So yes, today's topic, right? It makes sense because um we're coming from job hunting, and we have experience on, like, we have experienced the dark side of nine to
You are
five.
coming from job hunting. I'm still looking job hunting. If you have new roles, please talk to your manager to talk to my people to get back to me.
Which people?
Yeah, I have management as well. I
Nice.
mean, Rema has management. Why can't I have management? How old is Rema?
Deep stuff.
All right.
So today we're talking about freelancing, or 9 to 5 versus freelancing. So a 9 to 5 career or a freelancing career as a tech bro, tech sis, tech people, tech everything. So first, obviously, we would like to define, the ideas behind freelancing, what freelancing is, what the gig economy is, and all that, right? So I'm going to be picking the side of the 9 to 5 because I'm currently doing 9 to 5. Then Chuka is going to be doing the freelancing side. So that's how it's going to be. So it's going to be like an interview in a way. So yeah, we're going to start with defining freelancing. So Chuka, can you define what freelancing is?
Oh, okay. I'm actually quite scared about this episode because as I have like this, I'm trying to get out of freelance. So for everybody that is freelancer right now, what I say in this episode does not reflect everyone's experience. And for people that are looking into freelancing, what I say in this episode does not reflect everyone's experience. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, right? So yes, freelancing is basically it is also referred to as a gig economy. It's a place where you hold temporary positions for a period of time. All right. So you say you are working on a project, right? So the people that own the project, or your clients in this case, they don't hire you as a full-time employee. You don't work full-time for them. You just come do your work for the period of time you're supposed to achieve your goals for that project, right? And once you've achieved the set goals for the period of time, you are free to go and lance around.
Nice one.
Basically, you're free to jump on other things. You don't have to go and start tendering your resignation out. Say, thank you so much for the last 1 year. Nah, you're a freelancer, you're a free agent. You can do multiple things at the same time. Your time is not tied to a single employer. So that's basically what freelancing entails.
As a well-rounded answer. So I'll go for the definition of 9 to 5, and that was pretty clear. Basically, it's a full-time role where you are actually locked with this guy or this company or any entity that you work for. So you have an obligation to resume work 9 to 5. Although most people in Lagos do 8 to 5, but 9 to 5 is the general idea globally. There's some countries that do 9 to 9.
And 9 to 7.
Bruh, 9 to 7, different things. But I mean, 9 to 5 is really self-explanatory, so we won't go too much into that. So, what's the average day like for a freelancer, and what's the average day like for a 9 to 5er? Fiverr, a freelancing platform. Anyways, so what's the average day like for you as a freelancer?
Oh, okay. Like I said earlier, whatever I say in this episode does not reflect every freelancer out there. I've been freelancing for the last couple of months. In fact, since Emmanuel has been job hunting, looking for another 9 to 5 job, me personally, I've been freelancing, right? I was also looking for, full-time roles and stuff, but
I don't think it's more too.
it's up to you.
It's more than a year
It's up to you.
because
It's not.
the company you're working for, you was
Okay.
you're kind of like a
Kinda,
freelancer.
yeah. I actually got employed as a freelancer. Oh, Jesus Christ. Does that mean I've had like maybe 1 or 2
More than 1
jobs?
year, yeah.
Everyone, you see how tough life is. Please send funds. I would leave my Abeg link in this. Okay, so yeah, I've been freelancing for a very long time actually, when I think about it. So what an average day is for me is going to be very different from what Emmanuel is going to say. I'm saying this now because I don't want people to think I'm unserious. I'm not serious.
Liar.
I'm a very diligent human being, and I'm a very diligent freelancer.
For you to say it means they doubt yourself.
I'm just saying it because Emmanuel goes all out when it comes to planning. For me, most of the time, I rely on vibes. God forgive me. I know you like a man that plans. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Well, now.
So mostly I usually have a list of things that I want to accomplish for the day or for the project. The reason is that when you are freelancing, you have to take, you have to make a lot of decisions, and basically you are like a one-man army. You take a lot of things into your own hands, right? So it's always good to plan ahead. You are your own product manager in this case. So I usually have a list of things I plan to do either for the next day or for that day itself. So when I wake up, I basically go through all these things and attack them one after the other, right? And because I like I said, a one-man army, I always have to seek feedback intermittently. Like, okay, if I do something that I feel like I've reached a major milestone, I have to get back in touch with clients. Okay, this is what I'm currently working on right now, and this is what it looks like. So, I'd like to get feedback so that I don't just go and build everything I have to build. And next thing I hear is that nobody sent you this one. Oh, that's going to hurt. You're going to cry. So that's pretty much what my work day looks like, right? So list of things to do, do them accordingly, right? Whether you're doing it according to difficulty or time frame, and get feedback, right, to adjust your process, basically. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So the average day for a 9 to 5, at least for software engineering, in tech. We just is in tech. So you wake up in the morning, you do everything you need to do before 9. Those that do the 9, right? Then you start working. So most times for
You
me,
clocking at 9?
yeah.
Oh.
So for me, I start by checking my previous messages on Slack and email just to ensure there's no important task or important message that I would miss out. So once I clear that, then I have like a checklist, just like Chuka said. I have a checklist for what pending tasks I have for the day or for the week or for the sprint or for any kind of duration, right? Then I start working on them based on the one that my body they feel. Sometimes you see some one task like this and you just get discouraged. So I just go for what I can actually work on. I do that till like around 12 or 1. I try to finish up things before I move out, because once I switch context, it's difficult to get back to where I start. So I do that till like 12 or 1. I have like a short break, get a cup of coffee. No, I don't actually take coffee that much. But I
One
just
day give us lamba for
I read
it.
out. So most times I just pick up a book to read and rest for like 30 minutes or less, then get back to what I'm working on then. My stand up thankfully is in the afternoon, unlike other stand ups that's usually in the morning. So around 3. So from after break to 3, I just continue working on what I'm working on. Then by 3, around 3, I have my stand up, which is like really short. After that, I have the rest of the day to continue the work. But most times in the afternoon like that, I can't really work on something that requires me to think. So that's why in the morning I try to do anything that has to do with architecture or like breaking down the problem to solve. So that by afternoon and evening,
Yeah.
all I'm doing is just coding, like just coding the solutions.
No,
So
I
once it's
actually,
5,
I totally agree with that.
yeah. Once it's 5, I'm done, basically. So that's what an average day looks like. So after 5, I can do what I want. So, but like this is totally different from a very small startup when you have to stay longer and do other things. So yeah, I've been there, done that, and I don't want to ever do something like that. At least
Are you sure?
maybe at least for now, I think I don't want to. Maybe in the future I would crave something like that. But I don't think you will crave suffering.
Man, I mean, but passion and drive is
Yeah,
different from every
it's true,
person.
sure, it's true. So based on this now, right? What do you think is the most fulfilling thing about like being a freelancer? I know that you mentioned having not being attached to a certain person for a long time or a certain company. So apart from that, because that is the major difference between freelancing and 9 to 5. Apart from like the fact that you are independent, what's the most fulfilling thing about freelancing?
Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, there are actually two sides of this coin. One being that sometimes freelancing may actually look like you're doing, yeah, like you're attached to somewhere, you're doing a full time role, right? But like I think with more experience, you can kind of change that narrative or fix it in a way you get. So um number one, I would say your time. Your time is your most precious asset when you are freelancing, because technically nobody owns your time, right? Except you sign a contract where your clients kind of owns part of your time, right? But the general freelancing, your conventional freelancing that a lot of people do, your time is your most precious asset. So I would say your time definitely would be one of your major benefits or one of the most fulfilling things about freelancing, right? So if you have extra time or spare time to do other things,
So what
that's
you're
it.
saying is you spend basically have less time working than a 9 to 5,
So
or you can make that happen.
I'm saying you can do more in less time
Okay,
than a nine to
then
five,
okay.
because in if you're working for a major company, if you're working 9 to 5 for a company, there are a lot of moving parts,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So you do something and you need to get your code reviewed by someone before you move on to another task or something, right? But like freelance, you don't have that. Like you review your own code, you
Yeah,
move your own
so
task
it
and
means
from
that
there.
depends on the sizes of the projects
That's
as a
one.
freelancer.
Yeah, that's one. But it's also okay. Take for example, you are working remotely,
Yeah.
right? So you may argue that, I mean, You don't have to spend time commuting and all of that, right? Okay, what about the time you spend on meetings? I'm pretty sure freelancers do not spend as much time as you do on meetings. So
What I
technically,
think, what me I know is that maybe in the initial stages of a project, freelancing, you might have meetings,
yeah,
but once
yes,
you get to
exactly,
implementation,
exactly. Once
but
you
nine to five, whether Otipari implementation or Otipari, so man, she meeting,
exactly,
that meeting,
you're always going to have that.
like there's this thing when, let's say during my stand up, all of us just be like when we are giving stand up updates on a day where all of us have like plenty meetings. We always say it. We say, today was full of meetings, so I couldn't get anything done. Like straight up,
That's a valid stand up update.
straight up, man.
It's valid, very valid. So basically, that's basically it. I'd say your time one of the most fulfilling things because the way kind of person I am, I always like to explore a lot of things. So if I have more time to do that, I mean, it's a win-win for me.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, if your time is your most your biggest advantage, it means you can make more money. Like you can decide to make more money in a shorter time.
Because time is money.
Not because time is oh god. Yes, because time is money. Because like if you're able to utilize your time very well. As a 9 to 5er, the only thing you can hope for is to get a promotion or switch job. But a freelancer can finish the project in 1 week instead of 1 month so that you can get the next gig. So you can just like keep optimizing that way. Unless the gig wants to specify a certain length.
But let me just put this out there. All this finish the project in 1 week.
Vibes,
No. I hope your mental health too does not finish in 1 week.
I think it depends. It depends on the client side. So if you're lucky, you get a client who overestimates, then
Oh
you
my goodness.
over deliver.
Oh my
But
goodness.
a lot of clients in Nigeria are not like that.
That's a blessing in disguise because you listen to some clients tell you how long they want something to be done,
And you'll
and
be
you
like,
just laugh.
yo,
How do you want to do it? How? Right. So overestimating is a blessing. If you find a client that overestimates,
it's a
lucky you,
blessing.
honestly.
So yeah, so what's the not so great thing about freelancing? And I don't think I talked about my own
didn't talk about
fulfilling.
it
Yeah.
fulfilling.
So what's the most fulfilling thing about 9 to 5? Straight up like constant money coming in every month. Yeah, I think that's like that. And two, you get to keep on working on, like you get to see what you're working on grow. That's one thing I know. Like
So freelancers, we basically
hands off.
no, we basically give birth and then we hand them at the drop
Exactly.
them off at.
Exactly. So it depends.
That sounds so sad.
Yeah, but it also depends on but like based on the fact that it's a contract.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that you're going to continue working on it.
Me self, I
But
don't even want.
but nine
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
but 9 to 5, unless you quit the job, you can be sure that you can always keep on working on it. So yeah, that's it. So what's the not so great thing about freelancing?
Okay, before I talk about the not so great thing, you said the great thing about freelancing is the constant money. Sorry, the
About 9 to
9 to
5,
5
yeah.
is the constant money. And I just wanted to say I think freelancing too, you can actually achieve that level of constant money.
Bruh.
But it takes a long time. It takes a while.
No, you don't ever, because it doesn't depend on you.
I don't get it.
So 9 to 5, the salary is stated in the contract. You always get it.
Okay.
So even if you're good at your freelancing job, the market can decide to be different for this next 3 months, and you will not get the gig that you want. So like you have a standard, right? So you can keep getting requests, but you don't want those ones. As long as you don't get what you want, that money may not come.
Sure. Okay.
So unless you
take
do
it
bulk,
back.
where you charge plenty, so that it can last you 1 year. So yeah.
Okay, what's the not so great thing about it? See, I'm not even going to lie. I think there are a couple of things. Number one, I would say your mental health, because depending on the kind of clients you deal with, you are going to suffer a little bit, right? Some clients are
I think I have a point to
some clients
add
are
after.
unbelievable and unbearable. That's one, right? I think I've been lucky, Sha. Me, in a way, I've been lucky. All right,
Because I'm happy.
I've not experienced clients that give me headache all the time. So thank God for that. Second thing is probably what Emmanuel said about, the money notes coming in all the time. Like, you're the only freelancer in your group and all your other guys are working 9 to 5. Say March 31st.
Under the pressure.
March,
Under the pressure.
March 31st, everybody will go outside and go and ball. Right? Then your own March 31st will reach and you say, oh, more, not in deal. Right? And sometimes it's not always great because I don't want, sometimes you have plans for money. You just don't have the money. All you have is plans. So you need to get the money eventually. So I think the consistency with the money is one. Financial security is definitely more consistent and more secure in 9 to 5. And then, dealing with clients, right? Dealing with multiple clients rather than just dealing with your own company. Because companies can be toxic as well, right? But, you just have to deal with one person. So, yeah, those are the not so great things for me.
Okay. I think it's pretty obvious what the not so great thing is about freelance. About 9 to 5, which would be the fact that it is 9 to 5. So it means even if you don't have anything to do, that 9 to 5
You must
goes
clock in
exactly
and clock out.
Yeah. But fortunately with remote work it's much better. But if you're going to the office, it means whether you have anything to do or not, you'll be at the office, right? And it can be frustrating when you have nothing to do.
Very.
You think that, you want to have holiday all day. Trust me, there was the period between switching jobs. I had 2 weeks break. I didn't enjoy the break because I didn't have anything to do. You get? So if you have nothing to do, it can be frustrating as a 9 to 5, and that happens a lot when, at least depending on the amount of responsibility you have. But there'll always be a period where you didn't need to go to office. You didn't need to do the 9 to 5, but you did it because that's in your contract. So now imagine the actual clocking ones where you actually have to clock in and record your hours and say that, okay, I did this, I did that. So that's the not so great thing because, yeah, that's just it, honestly.
I feel you, Sha, because I had someone tell me the other day that, she had to go to work and there was no work. And she just did. And another bad thing about it is that she could not work on personal projects because they should not catch you working on personal projects, right?
Meanwhile, funny enough, like personal projects improve your own personal skill,
right?
That will eventually help the company,
right? So
but those things are a little complex.
So you stay, and I remember when I was working. When we were doing internship, right, I would look at the clock and wait for it, to count down to 5. I don't have to do that anymore. So, freelancing 9 to 5.
So here's where freelancing is going to chop 0 and 9 to 5 will chop 1. So in freelancing, right, for every new client, it's like imagine doing onboarding 100 times.
Bro.
So for every new client, you have to come and do, oh, my name is Mano. I'm going to be the back end your user storage, blah blah blah, persona. You start the whole thing from scratch every freaking new time. But in 9 to 5, you same co-workers, right? So you keep, you don't need to introduce yourself. You don't need to start from scratch. Yeah. You build on top of what was there.
No talking stage.
Exactly. So in freelancing, every time, it can get frustrating depending on how mature your client you get. If you are getting new, like the client that's the first time they're hiring a freelancer.
Oh my God.
Bro, you're going to work.
Oh my God.
You're going to do work of a product manager, work of a CEO, work of everything, just because they don't know what they don't know what they want, basically, right? And that happens a lot. So I don't enjoy it. So we basically talked about like based on the side we're on at the moment, right? So now, like, let's flip it. We've both worked on the 2 sides. I've been a freelancer before, but not full-time.
Part-time freelancer.
Yeah. I mean, no. I was actually a full-time freelancer after that internship because in school, I couldn't get full-time role. So I was freelancing full-time in school. I mean, computer science wasn't the most demanding course. So it was actually full-time because...
You're rude.
No, my course. Ask any CU student or any CU graduate. our course was chilled. Like there was our Fridays there were no lectures.
Hmm.
Do you get? So
University of Illinois students cannot relate.
so I had enough time. So I was actually a full-time freelancer at the time. So what do you think you miss about the opposite side of where you're currently in? Me, I am in 9 to 5 right now. And what do I miss in freelance? I will let you know.
Okay.
I think we've already mentioned it, honestly, because I miss the fact that I didn't need to wake up every morning to work. In freelance, I can kill myself for 3 days, then enjoy myself the next 3 days.
Yeah.
But in 9 to 5, every day you must wake up and work.
You know the thing about that injury for Emmanuel, I don't think that's going to work because
No, you might.
Emmanuel's brain is programmed
No.
to a certain level of
No.
organization.
No. So exactly, right? I have to plan it.
Yes.
So I can plan the enjoyment.
Oh my
and plan-
goodness. That's cap.
No, it's not cap. So for instance, there are days where I actually have like a schedule where if I take leave for a particular day, I have like a checklist of what to do. For instance, playing game, I actually have a period where I will say, okay, I'm going to play game, right? So if I was in freelancing, oh God, I'll be having like 4-day weekends regularly. So the 4-day weekend is not Saturday, it's not Friday to Sunday. It's Monday to Thursday. Then Friday to Sunday, I'll work.
Can
Do
you
you
imagine?
Because
Bro,
there's a kind of
I
joy.
feel like you'll be miserable.
No, there will be there's a kind of joy that comes from doing that. You know? Because for instance, Monday to Friday, everybody is miserable, then you're happy. And then weekends, people are playing around, then you look serious. Do you get? There's a kind of joy from that. And the fact that you're actually doing something that's not normal. So that's my own end. That's what I miss.
What I would say I miss is, I think we mentioned this earlier, but what Emmanuel said was, basically not being able to watch a project grow. So, when you go to all these tech conferences, you see all these people with their fancy badges. Oh my God, software engineer at Eden Life. Oh my God, I'm a software engineer at, you cannot have all of that. A software engineer at self-employed.
Another thing is that you cannot always list everything on your portfolio.
Yeah, exactly, right. I've done a number of projects and none of them they're not on my resume anyways. Well, I don't have a portfolio right now, but they're not on my resume. I can't say, are you okay? I can't say these are the number, because some contracts now allow you to do that. To say, these are the stuff you worked on. So not being able to watch, that project or whatever you did grow and mature, because right now I'm planning to work on a project with a friend, and within this timeline there's also project handoff. Like, we're going to plan to hand off the project during that start. So it's crazy because sometimes I get attached to my projects and I know I shouldn't. But sometimes I do. Sometimes they were really nice to work on.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, it's cool. We're learning, we're growing. And yeah, so that's one thing I think I kind of miss. Yeah, being attached to an identity, like having an identity, right? So like, oh my God, yes, Cowrywise, yes, building the future. But if you are freelancing, you're building the future in your backyard, like you're in your room, and nobody knows what you're doing except your clients.
Those projects get like after you're done with the handoff, they blow.
Yeah, and you still beat the first.
You still cannot identify with them.
Yeah, you beat the first iteration, but like you can only tell the next set of people you're interviewing with. You can't tell the world.
So, what option would you go for with the knowledge you currently have? Are you still going to be, since you've been on both sides and you're more mature now, are you going to still pick freelance or you pick 9 to 5?
I'm going to be honest with you all, man. I'm a hustler, so I'm going to combine both.
Which one is going to be the primary?
Primary for me?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can make freelance primary.
That's a tough question.
And do you can't do a full-time outside.
It's a tough question because I hate meetings. Like, when there's just so many of them. But I also, enjoy
the monthly salary.
Not even the monthly salary. Not even the monthly salary, like working on one thing, right? Because the context switching is mad. Yeah. You see me when I'm working on multiple freelance projects, right? I'm a mess. I'm a complete mess because I have to change my mind. Okay, I was using this thing here. When I come here, I'm not using it again. Then I have to start thinking in another language. So
Yeah.
I think I'll probably go with 95.
Oh. Wait. After all that,
I just talked about
scenario,
context switching now.
Oga,
Context
you
switching is a
can't
lot.
talk on like say you want to do freelance. Anyways, for me, it's obvious. I would go with 9 to 5
Obviously.
because I want.
I feel like I'm letting the freelance guys down. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yo,
I'm still team freelance for now.
I believe that one other nice route is you do your 9 to 5 for maybe 10, 15 years and then become a freelancer.
Is that your plan?
That's not my plan, but I know that
Should I
it
tell
really
your
works.
employers?
I know it really works out well because you have so much experience from building something small to become big, now, and then basically your bride price increases. So yeah, and then so you worked all your life in a structured environment, and then now you gain your freedom. It just feels really nice. So what made you stick with what you're okay? I don't think it's a good question because we might not really be sticking because of what we want. Uh-huh.
I'm not sticking. Oh, Emmanuel, this episode is a very tricky episode because it feels like I'm a freelancer. But guys, let me just tell you people how I ended up here. I stumbled upon it. It's not as if I wanted to be freelancing, right? But like, in the process of applying for full-time roles that I actually wanted, I didn't want to be idle. So started picking up projects. So
Shala,
I know, right? So that's basically why I'm here. So once again, if you're hiring, hit me up. Okay?
For real, guys. hit us up. Anyways, so what made you stick? I mean, the salary now.
Oh my god.
I have to be getting paid every month.
Is this what you people think about these days? Like,
Anyways,
just money.
Anyways, you need money to survive now, don't you? Let's be realistic. Should you combine both? If yes, is it ethical? If no, okay. So I'll answer first and then you go. I would say yes, at the early stages of your career, you should combine both. Is it ethical to combine both?
You didn't explain why.
No, I'll explain why. Is it ethical? No, and yes at the same time. Obviously, it depends on how you do it. So why should you combine both? If you are lucky, right, and your first role is in a very nice big company that has opportunities for growth, then you might not need it because one, there's opportunity for growth, two, and there's a lot of money because they will pay you well. So you might not need that extra cash. A lot of people combine both because of just the fact that they need extra cash because freelance, for instance, can in one job give you more than your salary, for instance, So that's one of the reasons why people combine both. So is it ethical? Yes, it's ethical when you do your freelance outside the work hours. It's not ethical when you do it within your work hours or you use your work tools to do it. So whether they see you or not, it tells on your integrity when you are basically using the resources for a particular employer for another employer. It's not nice. So you should either use your own personal work tools or your own personal tools, or if the clients, which most times will not supply, if they give you tools to work with. Yeah. So to be ethical, be realistic with your freelance side because 9 to 5 is demanding, right? It takes like 40 hours of your week. So you can't tell a client that okay, you also have 40 hours for them because it's not possible unless you're not sleeping, and if you're not sleeping, it means you're not giving your best.
You should be doing 15 hours a day.
Eh?
You didn't see that tweet.
okay. let's not attract courses to our head. Let's not jump
If you're
on
not doing
that.
15 hours a day, you're a comedian. You're not ready.
So basically, combine both if you need the extra cash, because I don't think freelance in itself provides anything that you wouldn't get in 9 to 5. If you already like 9 to 5, it's fine enough. So what do you think?
Well, you said in the early stages combine both, and the only reason you should do that is because of growth. Actually, when you're working on personal projects. See, even though you don't even though you don't know something, you are going to learn,
Yeah.
right? But most full time roles, most 9 to 5 jobs, the growth factor is not really there. You may be very lucky to land one where they prioritize your growth, but
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're working in a startup, I think by default,
yes,
whether
yes,
they even consider you or not,
yes.
you are going to be forced to grow.
But sometimes they just startups,
A
startups.
growing startup.
Yes, yeah.
But
So personally, see, I'm a very big mental health advocate.
but I love you.
I am. You know this. You know I
You
am.
know they sleep.
You, you know I am. So because of that, I don't know about combining both actually, but um, uh, in a lot of ways, right? In a lot of ways, right? It could actually help to actually see both sides of the equation, like freelancing and 9 to 5 when you're getting started. Honestly,
Mm.
I think I wish I kind of freelance more earlier.
Okay.
But I was kind of scared to take on project. I thought I didn't do anything. So
Sounds good. Sounds good. So yeah, we've basically talked about what we think on different sides, and so now, like, if you look at Nigeria as an ecosystem, a tech ecosystem, a tech ecosystem,
ecosystem.
what side do you think the Nigerian ecosystem is leaning towards? Is it leaning towards the freelancing or 9 to 5? What do you think?
Everybody acts like they're 9 to 5 in. That's a lie. That's a very big lie. Mention one person in your office that doesn't have a freelance gig. I dare you. And then it feels like every single person that is 9 to 5 in
I
has
have
a
a theory
freelance
of,
gig.
of why that happens.
I'm not. I don't want to say anything. I'm going to let Emmanuel talk.
So the theory I have is that in tech there's too many people looking for freelancers for them not to be freelancers. You get, a lot of people are looking for hook to help them build. They're not looking for employees. They're looking for freelancers. So therefore, the demand will come. Sorry, the supply will come. So as long as there are people looking for, oh, I want to build this, I want to do that, and they want to just do short time contract, there will always be people. And guess what? The people that are in 9 to 5 are the ones that are mostly skilled. Do you get? So it means they will be pulled out of their chair and say, oh, okay, come and do this freelance job. It's just a few months, and then they will do it, and then they will enjoy the process, and they will keep doing it. That's how I think
And
it happened. Yeah,
apart from that, people need more money. People need to get paid.
exactly.
People need to get paid
Like, it's
more.
never enough in this country.
Right, exactly. So people doing 9 to 5, they're not. Even though you're in tech, even
Yeah.
though you're in the tech ecosystem, most of us or most of you are not getting paid as much as you're worth, right? So you have to outsource and you have to look for more freelance jobs, right? And
So to answer the question now, I think we're actually leaning towards I think we're leaning towards 9 to 5.
on paper, but we know what's going on
I
inside.
think it's the hybrid that we are in at the moment. But I think we are going to lean
Okay.
towards more of 9 to 5
probably.
when a lot of people who hire freelancers get disappointed, because the freelancing framework in Nigeria is not yet mature. So it's very easy to get scammed by freelancers.
What's the ideal freelancing framework?
So in Nigeria, so like in other in maybe America, right? There's things like Fiverr. Like, there's actually platforms that connect well. But here there's no platform that really connects. It's just based on hearsay that, okay, I know this guy, he can get this job done. Do you get? So, and clients, okay, so clients that can pay well, right? They get good freelancers because they can pay. But people that want small jobs, like maybe a job that you can pay somebody 50K, those ones, they usually enter a lot of trouble, because anybody, like people that just started learning HTML, so they will tell you how to do the job, and then they'll do crap, right? So people on the demand side are getting burnt from the supply side. So I believe that more people will eventually lean towards the 9 to 5 because of that. So it's either you start a company or you just
That's exactly
forget about your
what
idea.
That's exactly what I just wanted to say. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Because
So,
I know, as much as we, the freelancers, right, on our side, we complain that people are not paying well, people are doing anyhow, clients know what they want. At the same time, on client side, if you listen to them, they'll tell you how they hardly find good developers. They'll tell you how the ones they found did rubbish job. In fact, most of all the jobs I've gotten, they will tell me we've hired people before and they did rubbish. Please don't be like them.
Oh, wow.
I don't have to explain to them why I won't be like them. You get? So we've gotten that reputation from the demand side. So yes, what are the possible freelancing options in Nigeria in terms of design, coding, copywriting, and all aspects of tech, right? How does someone get into the freelancing world? The whole thing of having a portfolio, finding clients, managing them, establishing your rates, basically getting yourself in the game. Like, how do you do it?
Personally, actually, I don't. I'm not like the conventional freelancer out there, right? So I don't really apply or send pitches to. Sometimes I do, right? But I cannot count how many jobs I've gotten from all of that. Say Fiverr, Upwork, or TopTal, or all of that, right? So mostly it's usually word of mouth. Someone knows somebody that wants something and someone can recommend me. So it's easier for me because I have connections in high places. So I rely on my connections actually. Talking to people, having
Abeg,
interactions
connect
with
me.
people.
Oh.
I think having interaction with people and just talking basically from conversations most times I get gigs. So most times I do not apply or I do not send my resume or whatnot. So yeah, lucky me. So those are possible. Those that is for me. But possible options is going through freelancing sites, which would link in the show notes, and some people on social media put it out there that
Yeah.
look, we're looking for something, 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 something. Another option is family and friends that want to build something, right? That can also
Notorious.
that can also
Family and friends, bro. Run.
bro. I think that's the podcast episode for another
I
day.
swear.
But that also relates to connections actually.
Yeah.
So all of that is possible. So
Okay. What about the tips on staying there? Like, you've entered the game, you're ready to start getting jobs. You started getting a few jobs. What should separate you from the average person?
okay, so like I said, I'm not the conventional freelancer. A lot of people
Why does
use
that sound like an excuse?
because a lot of people are going to wonder, why don't I do this?
Oh,
Or
true.
why don't I do that? And the thing is, I don't do a lot of things that freelancers do, right? Because I feel like I'm on vacation here, and once my vacation is over, I'm going to run. So some people have a whole, like Emmanuel said, Emmanuel's framework was for finding freelancers. Now
Yeah.
some freelancers have frameworks for finding gigs and managing clients, and that includes how much they charge per hour. I don't do that anymore. I used to, but I don't do that anymore. How much they charge per hour, how they send invoices, right, to their clients, how they track their time, how all those things they have, it's a whole structure. I don't have a lot. I don't have most of that actually, right? So what I'll give you my own tip for staying there, and then I'll give what provide the conventional freelancer would say. So my own tip for staying there is one, do good work. You can do good work, you'd probably get a lot of referrals. Like someone will refer you to another person. Oh, this person did this stuff for me, right? So I said one, like I had more. But I think that's basically it. But if you're a Nigerian freelancer, you're going to want to consider a number of things. Number one, office is not paying for your power supply or internet, so you're going to have that on lockdown, right? And um, you know, some other things like creating your invoices, charging, how to charge, how to get paid, right? You have to know all of that. So creating your invoices, how to get paid, contracts with your contracts. Well, please don't start any gig without a contract.
Please read your contract.
We did an episode called Employer-Employee Relationship.
Bruh.
If you have forgotten what we talked about, go and listen again. Don't start any gig without a contract, I beg you. All right, so have that on lockdown. All right, and have clarity of tasks. Well, this one goes without saying. So someone tells you, I want to build Facebook, but it works exactly like Uber. As in what do they mean? Because if you sign a contract and you get involved and you start and your client is cuckoo, right? You are going to build that Facebook that works like Uber, whether you like it or not. So have a clarity of the styles you're working on so that you don't get discouraged and use toilet roll and pretend like you want to hang yourself, like all those TikToks. What? So yes, tips of staying there, do all those things, and you will probably last longer.
You said you probably
none of these things are guaranteed, but probably. Let's see how it goes.
Sounds about it. So we can't leave our 9 to 5 guys. 9 to 5, you guys already know what to do, honestly. Unless they are working in a company that doesn't care about your growth or anything, right? So for 9 to 5, things like working hard, just do your thing, go above and beyond, and involve a lot of people, like be involved in things, right? Don't be the guy that they will send to do one task and you just do that task and that's all. Like, you should always try to do more. Try to be not do more as in take on more work. If they say, okay, the performance of this thing should be 50%, you should try to get to like 60%, like make things better than like ownership, basically. If you can do that, you're going to be on a very nice. Yeah, don't kill yourself, but when you're young, you can attempt to kill yourself
15 hours a day or nothing.
Yeah, so basically just push beyond the norm, because the norm doesn't really get you far. That's it. So in closing, just one more question. What would you advise your younger self, or somebody younger than you, someone that is very young, who's just venturing, or not even just someone that's young, someone who's just entering the ecosystem? What route should they take? Freelance or 9 to 5? I just started coding 2 months ago. After 3 months or more, what should I start? Get freelance project, or I should start applying to get a job?
I think you should definitely try and get a job first. Right, get a real job. Try as much as possible.
I thought we were going to be on the same path for this one.
You always say freelancing?
Yeah.
Really? Wow, look at that.
Because recently, someone I'm mentoring asked the question. Okay, I think I actually told him to apply for jobs.
Yes,
but also...
So here's the thing. See, this is something I wish somebody, carried nail and hammer and put in my head. See, if you are, no matter what you're doing in the Techosystem, please build stuff. Forget about this. If you learn, you never build, then what is the learning for? Build stuff as much as possible. So I think I understand where Emmanuel is coming from when he says try and, build projects. That's basically freelancing in a way, even though you're not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
But build a lot of stuff, right? That goes without saying. But why I would say get a job is because I want you to see how things are actually being done in real life companies, right? How all these people are achieving tasks and all of that, because it's going to help you out in your 9 to 5 gig. Honestly. Now, if you see some organizational management and all of that, and you start freelancing, you can transfer a lot of those skills and that knowledge to your freelancing career. So that's why I would actually advise that you try and get a job, try and get a real job first before you decide to freelance. But if you do all of this and you've not put yourself in a position to really, really, really grow, which most times can only happen by you building stuff on your own and failing at it, then it may be tough.
Perfecto. Exactly. So I believe that if you are joining tech and you're trying to see what the next step is, just try to do both, but prioritize getting a job, because that will give you more structure, and that's probably something you need in the early stages. So that is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. We love you guys. Thank you so much, because you guys stuck with us for the last 8 months, and we're back.
Yeah, for all of those people that have been asking when is the next episode.
Exactly.
You won. Congratulations.
This is it. It's all for you. thank you so much, and we believe that we'll be pushing more episodes in the future, and you guys will be listening. Thank you so much. Send your questions. If you have any questions about freelancing or any questions about 9 to 5, you know who to reach out to. Send us a mail or send us a DM on Twitter at insidethetechosystem. Yeah, that's it. Or send us a mail at insidethetechosystem@gmail.com.
Our Twitter is Inside the Techos. Can you imagine?
Yes, we've forgotten that.
I didn't forget. It was the man that forgot. Please.
Yeah. And if you have any other question about anything in tech or you just want to say hi, I mean, we're not monsters.
Yeah. We don't bite.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Remember, we release new episodes every other Wednesday, and you can subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. If you would love to connect with us, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at insidethetechos, or subscribe to our newsletter and shoot us an email at insidethetechosystem@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can follow the host on Twitter as well, Chuka at Siwadiogo and Emmanuel at Olalua_98. All right, see you in the next one.